What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Country Cast. We have a really interesting story to share with y'all today surrounding Eric Church and Rascal Flatts. Church recently sat down for an interview on the podcast known as Lunch with Lindsay, where he shared the very candid story on how he trolled Rascal Flatts after being fired from their Me and My Gang tour back in the year of 2006, shortly after Eric released his debut album, Sinners Like Me. Now, needless to say, how Eric handled the firing actually worked out very well in his favor, even though Rascal Flatts, according to Church, hated what he was doing at the time. Real quick before we get to what Eric Church had to say, for those who may not be familiar with the backstory, as I mentioned, back in 2006, Eric Church was on tour with Rascal Flatts as their opener for their Me and My Gang tour, which I think we can all agree that is a bit of an odd pairing. And well, that pairing fell apart, all because Eric Church played too loud and played too long, according to the country music trio. Rascal Flatts told Broadway's Electric Barnyard in an older interview, "We asked him 4 times to stay to the allotted amount of time that he had to play. We set him down in our dressing room and were like, look, we'll put you on early so you can play longer. But please just be off the stage because we still have to do our show. And for every minute that you go over time, especially in New York City, you're charged thousands of dollars by the minute in labor fees. So the last time was at Madison Square Garden. We said it's really important that you get off on time." And well, as you have all probably figured out at this point, that did not go as planned. And after not adhering to Flatts' rules, especially on that last date there that they mentioned in Madison Square Garden, Eric was fired from the tour and he was replaced by Taylor Swift. But Church did not let that hold him back in any way, and he has clearly become one of the biggest names to ever step foot into country music and is now headlining his own arena shows, which are pretty awesome, playing for 3+ hours a night. But Church also did not hold back when it came to his response about his firing and how he was going to proceed at that time. During the interview on Lunch with Lindsay just this week, Eric explained how he went out and planned his own tour at the time, where he called it Me and Myself Tour, a little play on Rascal Flatts' tour Me and My Gang. Church told Lindsay, "When we got fired from the Rascal Flatts tour, we had like 12 shows left on the tour when we got fired. Taylor Swift replaced us. Our last show was at Madison Square Garden, and so we got fired. And I didn't have anything else to do, so we, and the rest of the cities that Rascal Flatts went to, their tour was called the Me and My Gang Tour, so we launched the Me and Myself Tour. So I went to all the rock clubs in the city that Rascal Flatts was in. So Rascal Flatts was playing the arena, right? I was playing the little rock club down the street. And I would start my show when their show ended. And I did it in every city for the rest of the tour." When asked if that was his idea, Church answered, "Honored the entire tour, the whole thing." Church jokingly added that he was stalking them, and when asked if Rascal Flatts knew what he was doing at the time, Eric said, "Oh yeah, they hated it. Yeah, they knew what we were doing." Church also added that he did it as a bit of an FU. He continued and explained, "We get to the last one," speaking of his shows at the time, adding, "It became like a thing, and it gave us identity. We stood for something. We made a decision. We've tried to do that our entire career. I mean, I've done that a number of times where I don't care if you agree with me. I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't care how it affects my career. That's who I am, and I think that the real fan base, they understand that, and I think it makes them more passionate." Now, another wild part to the story is that Eric Church also mentioned that he did not even know that he was fired from the tour until Taylor Swift actually called him and apologized. Church told her not to worry about it and that she would be great and be loved. He did make one request, however, and asked if Swift would give him her first gold record. And kudos to Taylor, she did. A short time later, she met Eric out at a music festival and met him on his bus to give him her first gold record. Taylor even signed the album, thanking him for playing too loud and too long. I mean, what a story. And it's not as if being fired from a tour is a regular thing. So at the time, Rascal Flatts was at the top of the genre, but Eric Church really did make his own way out of it and has been pretty damn successful ever since. So guys, we would love to know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in here at CountryCast.